Changing the oil on it now. Oil's really clean. The previous owner said he changed the oil just before losing interest in it. This bike is not liquid cooled, it's oil cooled and air cooled. I think I'll put some motorcycle oil in it. It's supposed to be some additives for the clutch. Onto the brakes here, all that brake fluid was crystallized inside these calipers and these pistons were frozen. So a little compressed air, I was able to get the pistons out. Pistons are in good shape, they're not pitted. I just shined them up. Got this caliper all cleaned out. This one will eventually look like that. And we got a rebuild kit here. So to pop these together, maybe show you a couple more highlights. You can see how crystallized that brake fluid is. I'm just going to dig this out, and then I'm going to show you how I'm getting them pistons out. I just have a flat C-clamp over that opposite side hole. They really come shooting out of there, so I'm wrapping a rag around this. Get my safety glasses and hearing protection on. We'll get the dust seal off of here. And the seal that does all the work. I put a thin film of this red grease on these seals and they popped right in. It's supposed to protect them from the brake fluid. Try putting a piston in here. It's actually pretty easy to rebuild these calipers. Got these calipers back on the bike. Got her bled out. Not sure if this bike came with a center stand, but we're working on putting one on. We want to get that front tire off. We're still having problems with the brakes. It's like the fluid's heating up or something and they're applying themselves. So to do that center stand, you got to take the exhaust off. It sounded like the bike had a little leak. It might have been coming out of there. But I did find some corrosion on the tubes here on the bottom side. So I'm going to get that all welded back up. And a little bit over there. Here it is welded up. Had a little porosity on the one next to it. Hit that too. Been sanding for a couple hours. I think I'm going to try some of this on the front portion of these pipes. Definitely a reaction of some kind going on there. So I have to put it on in a couple coats, wait 20 minutes. I got the first part of this exhaust into some primer. And I'm only going to use the primer up to there. This is high temperature. It was just some leftover stuff I had from an engine at some point. I noticed the paint's at a very high temperature. If I remember right, that paint comes out pretty flat. So I'm just going to run that up to about where that primer is. And then right about here I'll tape and go with semi-gloss all the way back, the part you actually see. It'll be interesting to see how that rust treatment acts as a base for that. I think it'll probably be okay. Alright, it's on there. And you can put some weight in the back or get the front tire off, which is really why we wanted it. So I might just put a jack under it for now with the exhausts off it. See if we can figure out what's going on with these front brakes. I took the master apart. It's just a C-clip, and then you got a valve. But it's probably impossible to see this on camera, but that hole with that little metal piece over it appears to have crystallized brake fluid in it. So we got to get that all cleaned out properly, and then that fluid should be able to return to the master. I think it was heating up and applying the pistons. I got the little metal clip out of there so you can see better. It is solid with crystallized brake fluid. It's all cleaned out now. You can see how tiny that is. It's probably only maybe a couple thousandths whole or something like that. Blew it out with compressed air, got some brake fluid to pass through. I think we're going to be good now. It does say DOT4 on here for brake fluid. So we're not going to use that, but we'll stick some of this in there. And all this nasty brake fluid just goes to show that you got to keep up on that. This back one is pretty gross. Everything's still working though. So we're going to flush that out next. Gonna get all the old brake fluid out here. Just using a hose with a weight on it to try to contain some of this mess. Try to keep it off the paint. I ran about 3 reservoirs worth of fluid through it. You can see perfectly clear fluid coming out the back. I think I'm going to drive this around a little bit and then I'll probably do this again. Try to flush it out real good. Took the front tire off. Just a cotter pin and then a castle nut axle pulls out. Real easy. Looks like it has sealed bearings in it. So not much to do there. There's some dry rot on these tires. So we're going to get some new rubber on this. We're going to check the drive chain. It says to fully tension it. There ain't no slack in there. This is just for checking. So we'll take a measurement, see what we got. Took a crude measurement and it looks like it's still on spec, but probably at the end of its life. We get a tool here that will push a rivet out and push it back in. This chain's so filthy, we're going to take it off and soak it. So when you're putting it together, how does it mushroom the end of the rivet?
It's got a special plate for riveting it. I think that's that rivets it right there, I believe. You gotta press 2 of them all, obviously. So.
Just like that. Make it a lot easier to clean up the swing arm and that front sprocket. We're just cleaning this chain up with some mineral spirits. Looks like it was maybe a DID chain. I don't know. Got some new rubber on the Katana rims. Got these rims cleaned up as good as I'm going to get them. And did some more scrubbing on the bike. And we're start putting her back together. I'm going to start with this front tire so we can get this jack out of here. There is a rotation to these Sport Demon bi-supply tires with the performance of a radial. And the guy did get them on the correct direction. I was able to get an original Suzuki manual here. See what that torque spec is. We just got the spring assembly on the center stand. I need a wide hitch pin for that. For now I just put some copper wire in there and twisted it. With the stand in the up position, I was able just to grab onto this and stretch it right on there. A lot of people on the internet seem to have problems with it. Get some of this chain lube. It's supposed to be sticky. I was able to get this area pretty clean. I just squirted some solvent in there and then took a compressed air hose to it and just blew all the crap out of it. I got this all lubed up here. I'm kind of discussing this. This chain could be on here 180 degrees off as to how it was on here. I don't know if it makes a difference. If anyone knows, drop a comment. So we get the chain on there. Instructions said to adjust it on the side stand, so we did that. Notice it tightens up a little bit when you're sitting on it. I think we got her pretty good. These little tabs in these exhaust gaskets seem to hold them in there nice. So here's the exhaust finished product. The top was just a high heat paint on that rust treatment. And then we got high heat primer and then semi-gloss in the back. I got a feeling the semi-gloss is going to last longer than this high heat stuff. We'll see how it fares out in this area. So that center stand's got to stop, and I think this will work pretty good and get it in there. Getting this exhaust on was not an easy task. We had to take the center stand back off and then kind of get the exhaust on and get the center stand on. But it's hitting against that rubber stop, so it's working good. Formed up, it's idling about where it should be. It's still warm. We only got a little bit of fuel in the bowls, but I got the old sink tool on it here. We'll see if all four of these cylinders are pulling the same vacuum. I did go ahead and plug that line going to the tank. We'll see this together for the first time. I don't know, looks pretty good to me. I did want to show you this one. This was all busted up and it was really broken up in this area. I used some fiberglass resin and some matting and I got this all strengthened up again. This outside could be sanded, made smooth again, but I couldn't find these graphics. I don't feel like getting into a paint job right now. The mirror's going to cover a lot of this. Some of this will be covered by the instrument cluster. You'll see a little bit, but it is what it is. Alright, we got this bike all back together. Needs quite a bit more detailing, but looks a heck of a lot better than it did when we got it. I think I'm going to take it for a ride now and see what happens. Well, the ride went well. Got that idle adjusted down. And after about 2 minutes of riding it, I realized what my age was. My legs immediately started to cramp. Even though I haven't ridden a bike for like 10 years, I could tell those are really stiff sidewalls. But they seem to be okay. So I think if I was going to do it again, I'd look harder for a radial. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.